Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchadori.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us here on the show. And with me today is a good friend, Daniel Krynzel, who's joining us here on the show for the first time. And let me ask you a question. Are you in a place where you want to know exactly what to do in your business, with your health, and your relationship? And you want to know with certain confidence, with a level of accuracy that perhaps you've never experienced before? Well, if you want to know that, and you want to be that person who's got that knowledge and that clarity, you're in the right place, because my guest today is on a mission to helping men and women around the world get connected with God, the source of all inspiration, do the right thing, and get ahead in life, in all areas of life. Daniel, thanks again for joining us here on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Incredible. You've got a saying that, we touched on earlier on before coming on the show that I thought would be great for everybody to hear before we dive deep in our conversation. Let's hear it.
Yes. So all the men that are out there listening that are looking for answers, they're looking for answers in their business, their body, and their relationships. There is an opportunity to get those answers directly from God. That is what we're going to talk about today on this podcast. And I am just so excited to bring this information to you and the audience that's listening. And we're going to have a really good time.
We're going to have a really good time. Absolutely. But before you got into a place where you are right now, Daniel, where you are helping thousands of men and women, really, literally, you had an experience in 2008 where you lost everything, literally everything. Talk to us about that experience and that trying, maybe significant time of your life, really.
Yeah. So I'm in the US at that point, and I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I was a mortgage broker and banker. I owned a mortgage company, very successful in doing mortgages. And overnight, our real estate market flipped upside down. The economy crashed. I'm sure everybody in the world heard about this in the US. It completely flipped upside down to where we were making all this money to a point to where we weren't able to make any money. And things got bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
I lost, the house. I went into foreclosure. I lost the company and the business, all my money, everything went to repossession. She left, she took the kids. I mean, it was bad. All like within 30 days, this all happened. Yeah.
And that hit you really bad to the point that you went back to, at your parents' house. And talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I need a place to stay. And he's like, son, I thought you were rich. I was like, I was last month. Like literally, like I had so much going on that there was no way that I could keep up with all of the expenses and all of the, things that I committed to, all my commitments, because there was no more money coming in. So I literally had to live on my dad's couch. He said, son, you can live on my couch. The spare bedroom is my office. That's how I make a living, but you can stay on the couch as long as you need it. And literally that's what I did for 2 years. Yeah.
Not only that, you tend to drinking as well as a way of escaping the reality you were facing, which of course did not end so well.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So I was drinking as much alcohol as I could get into my body just so I could be numb and not feel the pain of what was going on. I went from having a family and having children and being the boss and owning the business and having toys and motorcycles and all the fun stuff that you dream of having when you're a kid. I had it all. And then it was gone. Like literally overnight, it felt like, and I just couldn't feel. So that's what I did. I just would drink. I didn't pull a sober breath for 2 years because that was just, I couldn't be there.
Yeah, and something unique happened to you. You had God perhaps in a more vivid way than before. Love to hear how that planned out.
Yeah. So A lot of people have like that burning bush conversation with God, or that burning bush incident. Some people don't, some people do. I did. I literally just woke up one morning. It was early. And I walked out in the backyard at my dad's house, and I wasn't sober, but I hadn't started drinking yet. So I had about 6 hours of sleep in me, and God's voice enters into my head, and he says, son, you're done drinking. Do not drink another ounce of alcohol the rest of your life. And I'm like, huh. I thought I was like hallucinating first off. And, and I didn't really know what to think about this voice. And it was so booming and it was so authoritative. Yet at the same time, I felt very calm and at ease. It was the most incredible feeling I've ever had in my life. And I listened to this voice. I haven't had a drink since that day.
Oh, incredible. And what we know is that really got you in, started on this quest of wanting to have God as the director of your life, really, inspiring you on every step of the way. And after that, you got everything back.
I did. So the first step was I stopped drinking.
Yes.
Now, I didn't really spend a lot of time with God. I mean, I would go to church every once in a while, and I would just kind of be in the background. And I went to building a network marketing company. I had a lot of success with that. I've always been able to make money. It's never a problem of making money. Especially the moment that I stopped drinking, like everything escalated, for the better. I then got back into the mortgage business, and I started making some serious money again, actually more money than I ever made in my life. And I got to a point to where the mortgage company I was working with, they offered me an ownership position because they didn't want me to go anywhere. I mean, that's how much revenue I was bringing in. They said, look, we're going to make you one of the owners. We want you to stay. We want you to be happy. We're going to give you your own branch, your own building, your own office, your own team. Just keep doing what you're doing and stay here with us. I'm like, okay, great. So I did that for years. And literally, it was the 7th day of the month. And I'm sitting in my office, and I get up early. So I'm there before any of my team is there. And I'm on the computer, and I'm looking at my business bank account. And I noticed that $131,000 was, and that's 131,000 US dollars, was deposited in my account. And it's the 7th day of the month. So that was 7 days worth of commissions. And I'm looking at it going like, I'm on track to make at least $300,000 for the month. Like, this is great. And then I feel, it was the weirdest thing ever. I feel myself like selling myself, like to feel good about this.
Yeah.
And I felt empty. There was a hole. Like, I felt as terrible as like I was broke. Yeah. I had the kids back in my life. Everyone's happy. I've got all these toys. Like I was telling you, like I have a 720S McLaren, like that, that came from your country. I love the car, right? I've got all these toys. It's amazing. Yet I feel empty, like I'm bankrupt again, back on my dad's couch, but I'm not drinking. I have everything in my life and I have all this money, and I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
And you started pacing around, and again, that experience came back.
It did. This time I promoted it. I asked for God's help. I'm like, God, why do I feel this way? Like I've got everything anyone could ever dream of. People would kill for my life right now. Why am I feeling this way? He entered into my mind again. He started speaking directly into my mind, and he started mentioning a couple of things. One thing he said, son, you're done doing mortgages. And I go, what do you mean I'm done doing mortgages? Like I have a career, like people are counting on me. I have a whole staff, a whole team. I've got expenses. I've got all this stuff. I built it up again and even more. And he's like, you're done doing mortgages. You're not a mortgage guy anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, God, you told me to stop drinking. I stopped drinking. My life got better. It's the same voice. It's the same you. I know it's you. You're telling me now to stop the mortgage business. I'm sure my life would get better. I don't know how this is going to unwind. I don't know what's going to happen. And then right as I'm like having this conversation back and forth, pacing in the office, my staff starts coming in and my team starts coming in. So the connection was lost, and I literally stopped talking and stopped hearing. The conversation was over. So I went about my day, and 3 days go by where nothing happens, and I'm just going about my day, closing mortgages, doing the things that I was doing.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
then this is when it got crazy. I'm in the chiropractor's office. I'm waiting in line to get my adjustment for my back. And I hear the voice enter my head again. And it's like, delete your database. And I'm like, what? He's like, you don't need your database. Delete your database. You're done doing mortgages, son. I already told you this 3 days ago. And I'm like, okay. You understand the repercussions of me deleting my database. That's hundreds of thousands of clients, closed clients, paid clients, new clients that I'm going to get, family, friends, everyone's in my database. He's like, delete your database. You trust me, right? And I'm like, yeah, I trust you. Last time you told me something bold to do, I did it. My life got way better, so I'm going to do it. So I deleted my database. My tech was so good, I literally deleted it on my phone through my system in the waiting room, and deleted it, went to the trash folder, deleted that. Like, I have no more database. So
that's a very bold move right there, man.
It took a lot of courage. Then the fear kind of sets in as they call me back for my adjustment. I lay on the chiropractor's table, right, face down, and freaking out. I'm like, my whole body is like tense and like erect, like strong, like I'm flexing, right? Because I don't know what just happened. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life financially, and I'm just listening to this voice that I know is right. I know it's God, and I don't know what I'm going to do. The chiropractor starts pushing on me. He's like, man, you're under a lot of stress. I'm like, if you only knew the conversation I just had. But I wasn't going to explain it to him, that's not the right time. No, not at all. We don't have enough time to explain this. So he does the adjustment, which was weird, the most uncomfortable adjustment I've ever had. I get up, I feel a little better, but still like this fear that kind of comes over me. Yeah. And this is the moment that started the ball rolling to where the Godwalk and the Godwalk app kind of came to fruition, was out of like a healthy fear that was instilled in me through this, personal experience that I just had. And I just explained.
Incredible. And then after that, we know that you went on to really rely on God literally every step of the day. You started the morning walks and get the directive as to do what to do. We want to go straight and talking about how anybody can do that, can have that special connection, because that's one of the things you truly believe and teach, is that anybody, any man, can connect with God and get the directive of to what to do with your body, your health, your relationship. How did you do it?
Well, I did it out of like this healthy fear that I was explaining. Like, I started waking up even extra early, like before the sun came up, and I would go to the park, and I needed to get out of my surrounding. I didn't want to be in my office, didn't want to be in my house. I wanted to be at the park. So I went to the park before basically anyone was there. And I would start walking. I'd start walking and I would start just asking God questions. And as I started asking God questions, I learned like a rhythm to be able to channel like this connection and make it like very, very strong and like consistent, to a point to where like I would get downloads. Like, I wouldn't like just hear just like the voice of God. I would literally get paragraphs that would come into my head, and then I would start to speak the paragraphs out. And then I would turn my phone on and I would record it like on voice to text, all the stuff that was coming through. It was like, I'm like, what I'm hearing, and this is how it started. What I'm hearing is, I need to, burn this thing down. I need to open this up. I need to make this move. I need to do this. I need to do this with my body. I need to do this with my relationship. I need to do this with my money. I need to do this with the business. Like, I had more than just the mortgage business. I had a lot going on at the time. So I'm like getting these instructions, and the rhythm is like increasing and increasing and increasing. And there was a couple of things that really were adamant about when I was walking that I want to share with everyone that's here, that's listening or watching. I mean, this right here is some key things that could really change the way, a man is able to lead his family. And this is what happened. I started understanding that I needed to come to God in a certain way.
Right.
And this all was through trial and error. Like it was me walking every single day in the morning to try to find out what I was supposed to do. Because it's like, I'm listening to you. I'm being faithful. I'm listening to you. I deleted my database. I'm not doing mortgages anymore. What do I do now? And I started getting answers, but then strategic is my favorite word. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get super strategic with God. I'm going to like ask him exactly what I'm supposed to do. So the first thing that I did is I realized I had to break up the conversation in three parts, like three areas of my life. Number one being my financial purpose. Number two being my body and health. And number three being my relationships. And I would literally start asking God for direct coaching in those three areas. And it was amazing and incredible what was happening, because I started seeing measurable results in every single one of the areas.
Wow.
It was incredible because I was strategic. It wasn't because I was just like, hey, God, what am I supposed to do? It's like,
So
if you ask the right question.
Yes, indeed, Daniel. Walk me through like your typical morning session with God on a Monday morning, maybe on that trip to the park.
Yeah. Well, do you want to know like what I do now after it's been all like modified and it's like perfect and this is like what I do now?
Yeah, maybe what you do now and what anybody listening can start doing.
Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to be in a flow state. You need to walk. This is not about sitting on a bike. This is not about sitting in your car. This is not about sitting in front of a computer or typing on your phone. This is about you getting into a flow state, walking. That's step one. So you got to be willing to go for a walk. Right. The second step is you've got to set your intention for the walk. Setting an intention with God is letting God know, this is my intention for this walk. This is what I'm looking to get out of this walk with you. This is what I want to accomplish today, this morning on this walk. When you do that, you're actually setting an intention. You're setting the bar for what you expect for that day. God will actually help you when you have an intention and you have an intention set for that walk. So that's the first thing that you do once you're walking. The second thing that you need to do, and any man can do this, the second step you need to take is you need to get into gratitude. A lot of people are fear-based. They live in fear. And this is a guaranteed fact. You cannot be in fear and in gratitude at the same moment. It's one or the other. You've heard this a million times, a million different ways, right? So what I realized was I couldn't show up to God scared, like, hey, how am I going to pay my bills? I had to show up to God with gratitude. Then he was actually giving me more information. So I set I'm walking, I'm in a flow state. I set an intention, and then I get into gratitude. And how I started to get into gratitude was I was just reviewing my last 24 hours with God. God, I had an amazing workout yesterday. It was so fun. Like literally, it was like my favorite. I got to do shoulders. It was my favorite workout. I got a big pump on. I had so much energy the rest of the day. I got to play with my kids. I got to ride one of my motorcycles. I got to take the car out. Like it was amazing. Thank you for everything. Yeah. Now I'm in gratitude. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. There's no fear now. I'm like, it's almost like I just got out of my car. I'm thinking about it right now. Like I just had some fun. So now I'm going to come to God, right?
Right.
The next step is laying everything on the table for God. And what I mean by that is strategically utilizing the financial purpose, the body and health, and the relationships, but laying it on the table for God, saying, God, this is where I'm at today with my financial purpose. This happened good. This happened bad. This happened not the way I wanted it to, but I need to kind of make it happen this way. This happened good, whatever it was, but you just got to be honest about your financial purpose. Then you got to lay it down. You got to be honest about your body and health. Then you got to be honest about your relationships. When you're honest with God, see, here's something that I truly believe. God knows everything. He's watching us right now. Yeah. He knows everything. The fact that we actually admit to God the truth, that's where we start knocking on the door. And he's going to open it. He's going to give us revelation. He's going to give us coaching. If we're not honest with where our current situation is, There's no way for him to enter our minds because we're blocked. We're like putting all of these railroad blocks in front of him that he can't get through to us. There's no connection at that point because we're not being honest. There's just a bunch of lies and a bunch of layers. It's like the businessman that like wants to go to God and say, God, how do I make, my business, go to $1 million? And, God's like, well, where's your business now? And he's like, well, I made 300,000 last year. And the guy made 82,000 last year. There's a bigger difference from 82,000 versus 300, right? So if that guy's not being honest, like how can God help that guy? Like the information is going to be completely different from someone that made, over 3 times more than what they really made. So that's kind of the reason why I realized as I was doing this in the rhythm that like I had to let him know where I was and like copping to it, being honest with like, this is where I'm at. So just so I can review just one more time, because I want everyone to have a rhythm. They can like literally start walking with God right after they watch or listen to this. It's get into flow state, walk, start walking, go to a park, go to a sidewalk, wherever, just walk, get out of your surroundings that you're comfortable in, go somewhere different, get into a flow state, start walking, set an intention, get grateful, let God know where you're at with your body, with your finances, with your relationships. And then the third part and the most important and most exciting part is this is when you're open for revelation. You can literally be strategic and ask God, where is my focus and direction for my financial purpose today? He's going to tell you. And if you noticed, it wasn't, God, how do I pay my bills? No. What is my direction and focus for my financial purpose? See, I've never had a money problem. I've had a focus problem, a passion problem, an impact problem, right? Like even the mortgages that I was closing, like I was helping people, like the families are grateful that are living in those homes that I gave them loans for, right? Like it's all great. Wouldn't do anything bad, but that's not why I'm here on earth. Like I'm not here to be a mortgage guy. I'm not here to do those other businesses, the network marketing and the coaching business and all that. I'm not here to do that. What I'm here to do is to connect as many men to God as I can. Like that's like my true passion and my true purpose. Yeah. But I didn't just wake up one morning and ask God, why did you make me? Why am I on earth? And he just gave me the whole plan. Like, no, he gave me little pieces. And that's why I've got to walk with God every single morning, because he gives me just the next step and then the next step and then the next step. And I can implement the steps that he gives me. I can't implement everything that he were to tell me just like on one Sunday morning if I go to church. Do you know what I mean? Like that, if you go to church, that's cool. But just make sure you check in with God the other 6 days. That's so right. Many people go to church once a week and then there's nothing, like there's no momentum built. When you do something like, if you go to the gym once a week, you're not going to get big muscles. You're just not. Doesn't work that way.
No,
you eat healthy once a week, you're not gonna do good, right?
That's right. You can't live on just eating once a day or once a week. You have to refill. I love that. Yeah. One of the things that fascinates me about that, what you've just explained there, is there's an expectation there that God is going to give you the direction of your life. Does this apply to people who are maybe not religious, maybe who don't want anything to do with God, maybe it's business owners? Because we've got people, some who are religious, or maybe who say they've got faith or they've affiliation to a religion. Does this apply to everybody, or there's this, you've got to qualify? Explain a little bit more there.
Yeah, let's talk about this. That's a great question. So this applies to anyone that's willing to ask God for direction in their life, period. Right. There's no rules to go to God. There's no box that you got to fit in. There's no stepping point. There's no rules on how to talk to God. You have to believe that there is a God. You have to believe there's something bigger than you. Because if you don't believe that, you're going to have a problem with this. Because if you don't believe there's nothing bigger than you, then who are you talking to? Who are you asking for guidance? If you don't believe there's no one there, then there's no one there. That's just your own belief. My conception is there is a God. He's a man, and he helps me. I ask him what to do in the 3 target areas of my life, and he tells me exactly what to do. And then I take action on everything that he says. So the only requirement is is that you believe that there is a God and that God is bigger, badder, and better than you. If you believe in that, great. Then start walking with God and ask him for direction, and your life will change exponentially. That's why it's called Godspeed. Like, there's so many men that can operate in human speed like they are now. Most men are operating in human speed, which means everything that we gather as humans, our coaching, our what we watch, what we listen to, it's all good stuff, right? But that's only what we can comprehend. But when you connect to the source and you're actually operating with God's direction, and God is telling you what steps to take, you are now operating in God's speed, not human speed. And that's why the name of the company is Godspeed, because I'd rather be in Godspeed than human speed. Like, people can't run with me. Like,
That's
literally,
right.
they can't stay with me. It's kind of a joke. It's like, you go ahead and build your business. I'm going to build mine. Let's see how much more people I impact versus you. Like, challenge me. Let's go.
Amazing. Amazing. Before we talk about the app, because I know you created an app that simplified the whole process, but there are people who wants to apply this straight away tomorrow morning, and they want to get started. Do you have a time frame? 5 minutes walk, 10 minutes walk?
Yeah.
Well, give us the lowdown.
So I actually do it, professionally. And what I mean by professionally is I do it every single day. I do it no matter what. It's every single day. I do it a certain way because it's inside my app, right? The one that I created. So I set an intention. I get into gratitude. I lay everything on the table, and then I ask for revelation. So, like, that's my steps. If people follow those steps, it's going to take them anywhere from 15 minutes to maybe an hour, right? It just depends on how much information goes back and forth. What I do know, if someone is willing to spend 15 minutes, they will gain that 15 minutes back tenfold, even in that same day. Because think about it. If you could just spend 15 minutes or 18 minutes or 20 minutes literally connecting with God and asking him, what am I supposed to do with my marketing? What am I supposed to do with my body? How am I supposed to treat my spouse? Think about how strategic your day is going to be.
Incredible.
The creator told you what to do. Just do what he told you to do. And then you don't have to like try to see if the spaghetti sticks on the wall. Like, it's going to stick because he told you what to do. He told you exactly what you're supposed to do. I'm not here like the coach. I'm not coaching anyone right now. Right. It's not me. I'm just connecting people to God. God is going to tell you to do something completely different with your body than he's going to tell me. He's going to tell you exactly what to do for your business. It's not going to be the same as what he's going to tell me for my business.
That's
He's
right.
going to tell you to treat your spouse a different way than he's going to tell me to treat my spouse. Now, within reason, he's not going to, tell you to be mean and me be nice. But what I mean by this is there's going to be certain things you do that you're supposed to do with your spouse. And there's going to be certain things I'm supposed to do. When you have these 3 target areas on lock and God is guiding you, your life exponentially changes completely. So every man that's listening to this, they can just start walking right now. They don't need anything. They really don't. They can go with the app or without the app. With the app, I prefer because there's training in the app to where like you can do it and you can understand that when you go through the training inside the app, there's a specific portion of the training to where I break down how you can distinguish his voice versus your voice. Because a lot of people, they'll start trying to walk and then they'll get like revelation, but it'd be like self-will revelation. It won't be God's revelation. And that's like defeating the purpose if it's your will versus God's will.
Yeah. He's an all-knowing God. He knows exactly what you need and when. And when you follow his plan, you're just going to follow the steps to where you want to be. And the key thing there is fulfillment. Remember what you and I talked about earlier on, that even though you had all this amazing stuff that were going, which a lot of people would want to have, but there was an element of not being fulfilled. When you do it in God's way, there's a sense of purpose, sense of fulfillment that comes along with that.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yes. I am a testament to that. Like, I feel the best I've ever felt in my life. Yesterday was my birthday, and I'm 43 years old yesterday.
Happy belated birthday, man.
Thank you. I was able to jump on 2 podcasts yesterday because I wanted to do them. I told my wife, I'm like, schedule me on my birthday. I want to share this because like, that's how good I feel. Like, I know that I'm helping people. I really do. When they start walking the way that I'm telling them to walk, and it's not that I'm telling them, I'm just showing them what I'm doing. If they follow me, if they do what I've been doing consistently for a long time now, their life will change before their eyes. They won't be able to explain it. People will look at them and be like, you're completely different. Like there's something about you, and it's this light that goes on in their eyeball. Like their eyeballs light up because they're fulfilled. And when they're fulfilled, then we can live longer, instead of being upset and stressed.
Amazing.
And unhealthy.
Absolutely love this conversation. I know you've got an app there, and I would love people to have access to it. Where can they find this app?
Yeah, just on your app store on your cell phone. So literally go on your app store, type in the Godwalk app in your app store, and literally download the app. It's right on your cell phone. You don't have to go anywhere. You literally just pick up your phone, go to the app store, type in the Godwalk app. It will pop up. Go ahead and download it and then get into the training right away. The training is inside the app. There's 3 buttons. Just hit the training button, start watching the videos. I'm going to be explaining. I'll be there the whole way to guide you on exactly how to get in the flow state, how to understand that it's his voice, not yours. And then start God walking and start logging them. The app keeps everything that you actually speak into the app. So everything's recorded for you. It's the most incredible tool. Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, Daniel, this has been truly helpful. And I know people love that. And I know also you've got a great website where people can connect with you. Would you share with everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, godspeedwithdaniel.com is the website.
Indeed. Incredible. Are you on any social media?
I'm on all the social medias. My handle is at Godspeed with Daniel on all of them. So just type in at Godspeed with Daniel with whatever social media channel you want to check us out on, and you'll see us there.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible. One final thoughts from you, really, Daniel, knowing what you know about this journey which you're introducing people today. How soon would you have applied the principles that you've seen working?
I would apply them immediately. Here's what I know. When men are walking with God, and when more men start connecting with God on a consistent morning basis, the world will change forever, because the world will not be pumping these men with propaganda and the wrong information. They will be getting their information, their coaching, and their guidance directly from the creator of our universe. And when God starts speaking into more men, those men are going to go home and lead their families. And our life is going to be, and our world is going to be such a better place.
Absolutely love that. Man, we would love to have you back on the show sometime very soon, because this has truly been, there's so much revelation coming through there. And thank you for being generous with your knowledge today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Indeed. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you found what we've been talking about helpful, maybe just a little bit or even a lot more, can I encourage you to click the link below and find out more about the Godwalk app and find out how you too can improve your life and ultimately improve your family, your community's life by following the simple principles that have been proven to work today. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come. Thanks again, Daniel. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yeukai.businessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.